right, what's up, YouTube? Daily journal number 5. I think that's 5 in a row already, which is pretty good, right? So today's video, I wanted to just talk about a lot of things actually. The first one being throughout my day, how to help a team, right? The second one's going to be about my workout, and then as of recently, or the last journal, I like showing what I was doing in my workout, just for the audience, or when I see it again in the future, I'm being like, oh man, I'm lifting heavier weight, or if I'm lifting less weight, right? And then lastly, I want to talk about a problem that I have, I guess, but it's not really a problem, or a problem that me as a strength coach sees, right? But I try not to make myself who I am as the coach I am, right? Learned it a long time ago, but you never want to dictate who you are by what you do, right? So don't like doing that, never like doing that. Once I get home, I'm home. I'm not whoever I was, right? All that stuff. But yeah, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was how to help a couple teams out today. And basically they were kind of getting to a slow start, right? They weren't my teams, but they were kind of on a slow start, and that usually happens midday. They have to lift weights. They have to go to practice right after. And sometimes they're not putting their all, right? And then I come across videos saying like, you only get this, right? You only get today again, and tomorrow's not promised. The whole Disney Channel, that's why they call today's a present, because tomorrow's not promised, all that stuff, right? So a couple of teams, right, they're taking their sweet time. They're not being intent what they do. So our director at our school, our strength and conditioning, he just basically told them at the end, like, you got to be more intent with what you're doing, right? Like, this room that you're in has an equal playing field, right? Everyone has to lift the weight somehow, one another, right? If you don't pick a weight up, you don't get stronger. That's just how it is. So it's the only place on earth where it's fair, right? Everywhere else, in companies, the place you work at, anywhere that you work at, it's unfair. Everything's unfair, right? But the weight room is the only place that's fair, because you have to lift that weight up. And if you don't, then you failed, right? That's fair. But yeah, so they were starting to warm up, right? Not being intent what they do. They should always be intent, right? If you're trying to go win something big at the end of the season, like a championship, or something along those lines, the conference championship, they're, I don't know, right? Trying to win a ring, right? Just be intent with what you do. So if you're coming into the weight room, whatever you're doing first, right? If you're stretching, knee, tuck, lunge, and twist, be intent with that, right? Don't go through the motions, because once you go through the motions, blink of an eye, it's already over, and now that workout was in the past, right? You can never go do that workout again. So that's kind of what I was helping. I don't know if you guys see that, or if Zachary right now is watching this in the future, if you're still having that problem with teams, but I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just we're unaware at the present moment, being like, we get to do this. We get to lift weights right now. We get to coach, right? Because sometimes as coaches, we kind of go through the motions. We're like, oh, another day, week 3, 65% on the bar, right? 3 sets of something, or 8 sets of 3, right? It gets tedious, but the people who last the longest or enjoy the work is every day they'll find something new. So that's kind of the reason why I did this journal, right? Was just to, now I'm being more aware in the present, like, not like while I'm coaching, I'm like, who can I talk to get some type of motivation, or who is talk to me throughout the day and being like, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm going to talk about that later at night. Right? Just something that I can reflect on and be in the present moment. Whether if I'm talking to someone, I'm like, yeah, push that away and then never think about it again. Now I have the chance, or the possibility to bring it back over again and enjoy people's presence, because I'm dealing with so many athletes and they always tell me something, or I'm always telling them something. So now I get to reflect on it and being like, oh yeah, I do remember when I was told that, right? And then, if you guys don't know, every time I look right here, it's always the journal. So right when I upgraded my phone to the software update, there was a new app that came with the phone, which is Journal, right? And it was pretty cool, because I wanted to start journaling and then do a video journal so that I can watch it when I'm older, or a year from now, a month from now, being like, oh wow, that was cool. I'm still dealing with that today, right? So now when I look at it, I'm just going through my journal, because about 3 hours of my day, every 3 hours, every 4 hours, I try to write something in it, like whether I did my workout, what I did, talked about, or who I talked to, right? So after those 2 teams that I helped out, I had a 2-hour gap, right? And I was itchy to go on a walk, right? Because I was going to lift, wait an hour, set up my team stuff, put put the bands on the floor, put the prep work papers, on the racks, all that, to get the team ready. But I wanted to go for a walk before I did that and then come back and work out. So I went on a walk, and then it was pretty good because I'd never been to that part. It was like a park, so I walked around the lake, and then there was this kid staring, and I wish I talked to him, because now I'm regretting it, right? Like, my stomach starts to hurt when I say I didn't even get to talk to him. But he was looking at me like probably 10 yards, 5 yards down, and he had asked me, can I take your vitals? And because my first instinct was like, oh, what if he has a needle or something trying to put something in me? But now that I think about it, he was just a kid, probably trying to do something for school or project, right? I should have done it because he looked like he wanted to talk to someone. Now I feel bad, right? But that was cool because, it wasn't cool, but you get the point. I should have talked to him, and now maybe go on a walk again and see him and be like, hey, bro, you can check my vitals or whatever. I know my blood pressure's high, right? So I wish I did, but it was just weird because I remember telling him like, no, it's okay, bro. I don't want to. And then walking away, and I just had that itch, like, just turn around and do it. Just turn around and do it. And I don't know, something just hit me. I was like, just keep walking. So now I'm going to work on that, right? Like, just turn around and do it. Just be present and be like, I could have had a conversation with him. Maybe something was going on. Maybe he was doing this for a class, and he needed one more person, and I was that one person, right? But I guess we'll never get to that again, right? So then I'll get to my workout. Came back to the school, did my workout. I started off with chest flies, right? Laying on the bench, chest fly. And then I did some tricep push downs, right? With the cable, just pushing down, getting my triceps. And so the premise of the workout was a push movement, horizontal push, which is bench, right? So whatever you do, I wanted to get some blood flow. So my triceps and my chest, I want to get some blood flow as much as I can right there to go for my bench, right? So with bench, I did 2 sets of 6 and then 2 sets of 4 as my warm-up. And then I started my bench workout, which was 8 sets of 3, right? I think I was at 70%, which I'll show the first set right there. And then I wanted to show my 4th set, right? My 3rd or 4th set, just to show you again, like with the high sets, low reps, each rep or each set is looking the same, right? That's one thing that I've been trying to notice is for my athletes, if I put them on 3 sets of 8, on their 3rd set, they're gassed, right? But the 8 sets of 3 on their 8th set, it looks the same as their first set, if not similar, right? And then my last 2 sets, or I'm going to show a video of my first set, my 4th set, then my last set, just to show you that it all looked the same. Movement-wise, it was like 170 on the bar, not too bad. I think it was 70% of my 1 rep max. And then I ended it with 2 sets of 1, right? So the 2 sets of 1, the first set of 1, which is a max set, I wanted to do 225 just to see if I can hit it, right? Hit it pretty fast. And then after, it wasn't too fast, but I didn't have a spotter, and I didn't want to put the J hooks up, so I tried to do a rep again, and I did it, right? So I did 170, 8 sets for 3 reps, and then I did 225 to finish it. Then I went to single arm dumbbell bench. I think I'm going to show it right here. I did 70 in one arm. Then I think I finally got to 75 to 80 to the end, which I'll show, right? I can't remember. And then my last set, I get to do 1 rep single arm dumbbell bench, right, of 80. And then I went back to dumbbell bench press, right? This guy, man, he was getting my chest blowed up, right? Dumbbell bench press. I think I did 75, 4 sets of 4. Or 5 sets of 4. And then your last set was just 2, right? 2 reps. And then I got to 80 again. So I just wanted to get to 80 because if you see on my first set of single arm dumbbell bench, my right arm was kind of weak. I'm a lefty, right? Lefty, right? So then once I did dumbbell bench press, I wanted to see if my right was still weak, and it was pretty good. I think it was just a balance aspect because it's like a new movement, right? You're doing one dumbbell on the bench. It's kind of weird. And then I finished the workout with a max set of push-ups. I think I got to 25, which is pretty good. Actually, I don't know if that's good, but 25 in a row after all that bench, I'm going to say it's good. And then I finished with skull crushers. I put a 25 on each side, making that 95. Yeah, 95. Skull crushers, 4 reps. And then the last set, I did 2 reps, which is not going to be shown, right? And then I had my 2 teams come after. My 2 teams, late night teams, come after. And then they didn't give me the problem, but a problem that always rises when I coach is that the athletes don't do their numbers, right? So if I tell an athlete, because on the paper I do an Excel spreadsheet, and then each person gets their own sheet, right? Like I love that way to kind of get buy-in from the athletes, like, oh, your name's on the sheet, this is your own sheet, take care of your sheet, right? So I don't know if I have it around here. No, I don't. Right, so it's a sheet. It has your name on it, has all your numbers, and then it's a 4-week block, so that if you ever need to go on vacation or something bad happens, right, you can just take a picture of the sheet or take it with you, and you can go do it wherever you have to, right? So it kind of makes it both sides. But sometimes athletes don't want to do their number, right? And I don't know if it's an ego thing, because when I was playing, I never really did it. In the summer I would, but that's, for fun, right? Like if there's a day that my coach said, hey, let's go a little heavier today. Like, go ahead and try it if you want to. See how strong we get. Like, open sets, right? Something like that, along the lines. But we're in season. I don't want the athletes going too much over the weight or under the weight, trying to minimize injury and then trying to get the right stimulus that we're getting, right? So I don't know. I don't know. And it's not every time they lift, but it's like once or twice a month. And I've been reflecting on it a lot recently because I want them to push some weight around, right? Like, I want them to. Because if it was the other way around, like I'm like, push some weight around, like it doesn't matter about percentages, then I'm going to look like the bad coach. But then if they're the ones like, coach, I want to get heavier, I want to go heavier, right? There comes in a line, right? Like if they're going 20 pounds heavier, then I'm going to say, right? But if they're going like 5-10 pounds heavier than their number that day, I really don't think their body knows, right? I don't know the science behind it. I guess their body does know, because if you're overtraining and all that, right? But really, like, to get the athlete to come in and be like, hey, my coach trusts me, like that kind of aspect. And if they're going to do it one time, and then let's say they're benching, right? They want to go 5 pounds heavier, 10 pounds heavier, and they hit it really fast. And I'm going to be like, hey, let's do that again, right? Like, then we can start playing with all those, right? So that's when I'm kind of like, hey, keep doing what you're doing, and let's just go from there, right? Like, I'm gonna respect it. But if they're going 20 pounds, 10 pounds heavier, and they're kind of getting buried or having like sticking points, then I'm like, hey, listen to me. Come on, let's do your number, right? So like I said, if it was the other way around, of course, I'd be the one in trouble, telling them, oh yeah, move weight around. They're here to be, right? But that's what I'm saying. They're here to be athletes, not powerlifters, weightlifters. They're not here to move weight, right? Moving weight and moving their body in certain spaces is great for them. But I think in the aspect of like trying to get a heavy bench for a swimmer, not the best case scenario, right? But I want to retain these athletes, so I think I want to make it an experience, right? So if they go 5 to 10 pounds heavier, what do they think? Like, wow, that I just did that, right? So sometimes it creates like okay, coach is getting us stronger in some type of way. If they're going to go 5 pounds heavier than 65% that day, right? But then that's when I start to reflect on myself, right? Because if I want them to train with intent. So if they're not, and then I kind of watch the athletes who are doing it, right? If the athletes aren't listening to me, aren't doing these things, aren't doing everything, and then not doing their numbers, then I'm kind of like getting on them like, hey, let's listen now. I don't want to be like a dictator, but I don't want you to get injured. And I want you to play your whole season. On the other hand, if they're doing everything they're asked to, they're hard worker, their work ethic's through the roof, and they want to go 5 to 10 pounds heavier, who am I to say that, right? Like, let them, right? They want to get stronger. They want to be in your weight room. They want to lift heavier weights, right? And I don't think that's a problem, 5 to 10 pounds. But if it goes 50 and they're sticking points and it's getting stuck on their chest, we're going to be done. We're done with that today, right? So I believe it's okay for them if they feel like good one day, right? They want to go heavier. And then, yeah, so I think that's just my TED Talk of a problem. I see it not with a lot of athletes. Like, a lot of them will be like, oh no, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't follow my number. And then some of them try to jump on that fence being like, I don't care what coach says, right? And yeah, like, can I stop that? No, because one eye watches 20 people. Can't really stop everyone, right? But the ones that do put the work in and all that, I respect you, right? I did it, and you get more results from that, right? Because if I try to go 10 pounds heavier and it doesn't work out, then I'm going to feel like I'm going to get down on myself. But 10 pounds is like the next 2 weeks. That's the next 2 week block, right? If you're a coach, you understand, I guess. But yeah, so I don't think it would hurt them, but let them do them, I guess, right? But then not let them do them, but let them fall in their lines. If they want to go do that on their own, they can. But in my weight room, I kind of give them a number because it's always an estimate, right? Their number is not always going to be their number, especially if they're incoming freshmen or it's their first year at our school. Their number's iffy, right? Hey, my max is 425. Yeah, sure, buddy, right? Stuff like that. So, yeah, so if you're a coach, let me know what you guys do. But yeah, so I just try to create buy-in, try to make it a fun experience for them. I tell them like in the off season, hey, we'll go heavier weights. Right now, I want you guys all to play. I want everyone to be 100%, because if you're not, then it reflects on me and who I am and my philosophy as coaching, right? So yeah, so with this video, all I talked about was the helpful with the teams, be intent with everything you do, right? Like anything you do in life, just have intent, right? Like I try to always be present in the moment. Whatever I'm doing, wherever I'm at, I try to be so focused in on that. And then the next was my workout. I showed it. And then after, the problem. It's not really a problem. I just, sometimes it bugs me. Then I reflect, like, why is it bugging me? Like, why is it getting me mad? Like, is it a way like I want to be in charge or something like that? Because I never want to be that person like in charge or, hey, do this and this and this and you'll get this, right? Like, hey, let them do them. They're athletes. They know their body more than me. So yeah, but I try to put them, right? I was having this conversation with one of the athletes. I can lead the horse to the water, but I can't make them drink it, right? Like I can give you guys all these high sets, low reps. I can give you rep schemes. I can give you your numbers, but whether you're not, you're going to take it, right? And usually the ones who take it are the ones that succeed. And that's just how it goes. That's life. So I think that's it for journal number 5. Talked about like those 3 things. Hope you guys enjoy. Hopefully another good one for tomorrow. Let's go. Let's have a good one. Good night.